Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first press conference for 2020 with us, Chelsea Sharks head coach Sean Everitt and newly appointed Super Rugby captain Lukhanyo Am. The floor is now open for questions.
Sean, the gentleman on your left, naming him captain, did that take, was that a while in the thinking, or was it, just a bit of background as to how you came to the decision?
Yeah, it's never easy choosing a captain, so obviously we went through the squad. Lukhanyo and I go back a long way from his first days at the Sharks, and if you remember those days, Lukhanyo came in and then we loaned him to the Kings to get some Super Rugby experience, and he did well there, and he came back and he started straight in. For Lukhanyo, for me, it was an automatic choice. He's a quiet guy, he's popular amongst his mates. He's not the loud, outspoken leader, but in his quiet way, he gets people to follow him. So we thought it would be good to give him that opportunity. It was definitely received, very well amongst the players. I think the players cheered the roof off when he was announced. So a very popular choice amongst the squad.
Lukhanyo, when you came to the Sharks, did you ever imagine that you would end up captaining the team?
I never thought of it, because when I came in here, what I focused on was, being in the team and try to be consistent and staying in the team. But obviously, as in all our position, we are leaders, in a certain way, and just took the responsibility being a leader in the position that I was at, and today I'm here.
Have you given a lot of thought about a leadership style, or you're just going to keep doing what you're doing, playing, and let the playing do the talking?
I did a lot of thought, but I don't want to change much. Obviously, I'll learn, in this journey as being captaincy, but I'll stick to what I do, leading by example, and I'll just work and improve where I have to.
Sean, in the release yesterday, there was talk about a player group, like a leadership group. Can you maybe elaborate on that a little bit, and who's going to be controlling what, and how that'll help Lukhanyo into the new role?
Yes, in the past, the Sharks have been spoken about as a team with a lack of leadership. So we felt that there's a need to grow the leadership group within the squad. It's very difficult for Lukhanyo to oversee absolutely everything on and off the field. So we felt as a management that Lukhanyo would need some assistance in that department. And I think because we're a new squad and also a youthful squad, that it would be necessary to get leaders around him to support the youngsters and the new players in the team. So we brought in 5 leaders to help Lukhanyo with his job on the field, and they each got responsibilities, and they're really important responsibilities if we want to be a player-driven organisation. And Thomas Tutoy comes in to look after the set piece. Louis Schroeder will look after the game management and organisation. Andre Estes will look after the defence. Kerwin, growing as a flower, he's the general on the day, he'll be looking after the attack. And the man that scored the tries, he'll be looking after the transition, because that's where the majority of the tries come from.
Sean, maybe just a word about Kerwin. From what I've seen of him over the last couple of years, he's really grown. Do you see quite strong leadership support there for Lukhanyo from Kerwin? A bit more about him?
Definitely, we always look at our 10s from the team looks at the 10 for leadership. Kerwin has grown as a leader within the group. He's an outspoken person in team meetings, and rightfully so, because that's his job on the field. And we feel that we can develop him further, and hopefully one day, he could take over the reins from Lukhanyo.
Sean, you've had a bit more time to digest the Stormers game. Just any issues that you feel need working on, and what you felt was really good?
Yeah, I think I was pleased with the outcome of the game. Obviously, we wanted to win. Some people said that I was happy with the defeat to the Stormers. That's not the case. I was happy with what we got out of the game. I thought our set piece functioned well for the first 50 minutes in that game. The work that we've done on our defensive breakdown was outstanding, and there's a big improvement in that department. So we're happy with that. The line speed on defence and the reads that we made, although we got some wrong, were pleasing for us, because sometimes players go into the default and on Sunday they were able to carry it through for the full 80 minutes, so we're happy with that. Then obviously there was some really good moments on attack. Our maul functioned as well, which is good for the team. So yes, ultimately everything that we have been working on came to fruition.
Sean, just looking at the tries that were scored, it's amazing to see Makazole Mapimpi just go straight back into it, scored 2 tries. A lot of people have spoken at length about, like second year syndrome and guys struggling to find form as soon as they've won a World Cup. We've seen in the past. I mean, JP Peterson admitted it to me a long time ago that the year after the World Cup was probably the worst of his career. Are you positive that most of the guys are just going to kick on from where they've left off?
Well, I think they proved that on Sunday. The guys had a bit of a break. We only got them back into contact when they came back on the 3rd of January, so it hasn't been easy for them. The body's probably a little bit sore on Monday, but certainly from an attitude point of view, it showed on Sunday that they want to be where they are, and that's at the Sharks, and that they'll do whatever they can to make the Sharks succeed. As far as Mapimpi's concerned, I think as far as his try scoring sprees are concerned, they go back to the days when he was at the Kings. So that's just an ongoing thing for them. That's become an expectation from the public. But yes, I think that there were pleasing moments on attack, and as long as he's pushing the players on the field to get that ball, hopefully we'll produce some enterprising rugby.
Mhlambe ngesikhosa Lukhanyo uzizwa kanjani ukuthi ukapteni nokuthi yini ofuna ukuyisuza esikhetheni?
Ndinobe kakhulu ukubanyula ngokwe-captain for i-team, and siyi-team sisonke ndingathi simanye, and kule season sijonga ukwenza lukhulu. Baninzi abadlali abatsha, sisafundana nathi kodwa sijonge lukhulu kule season, and with the team siyasebenzisana, and baninzi abantu abakwazi ukukhokhela, you know what I mean, so indawo azijonga kumlodwa zijonge nakabanye abancedisi etimini.
Coach, you've selected quite a big squad for a Super Rugby ahead. Do you have your main team, or are you going to be employing the rotation system just to manage the team, give everyone a chance?
There's no official rotating system at the Sharks. We'll rest players as they need it. Obviously, injuries play a big part in that role, and therefore we've announced a squad of 45. As we know, and history tells us that we use between 35 and 40 players in a Super Rugby campaign. Looking at the grueling schedule that we have, we will play 8 games a bye and then another 8. There will be injuries. That's the nature of the competition. So, we're looking to give quite a few people a run going forward.
Sean, compared to Super Rugby last year, you've lost a lot of seniors, particularly in the forwards. Is this the year where you're looking for the next tier to really step up? I'm talking about guys like Thomas, Ruben, who now need to grow into senior roles.
Definitely. That's a conversation I had with the players. I don't think that we're an inexperienced team, although we are young. Kerwin's a youngster, but he's got a lot of games under his belt. Ruben's had a full Super Rugby campaign last year, and Thomas has been around, although he's still a youngster. Thomas played his first game for the Sharks, first year out of school as a 19-year-old. So yes, that's why we've given Thomas, a leadership role within the group. Hiron Andrews is also a guy that we're going to look to now. He's going to his second year of Super Rugby. In 2018, he had a few games, but he had a consistent amount of time in 2019. So all those guys that have been in and have a bit of Super Rugby experience, we expect them to step up now.
Any further questions? I've got 3 one-on-one requests for